Here, did you see that thing before Christmas with that bloody, what's her name, woman, Sarah Moulds, or something her name was, maltreating that horse? I'll be honest, Foo, I was going to do one about her before Christmas. I was. Yes, I was. I didn't care. I was going to do it. I thought, right, she's going to get a Gert in, definitely. And then I thought to myself, well, am I going to do a skit about a sentient life force, or am I going to do a skit about a dumb beast? So I ended up doing one about Boris Johnson. So anyway, I'm back again, and I'm going to do one about your Sarah Moulds, because I think she needs talking about. She does. She needs taking down a peg or two, that girl. She does. Yes, she does. And I thought to myself when I saw that poor animal being pulled, you know, like I've never been near a horse in my life. I mean, I've seen them in fields. I mean, I've seen people riding them, but I don't think God ever invented a horse big enough to take this lot. So, I mean, I've never been on a horse, but I do know that horses got things in their mouth, like in their mouth or something. And she's pulling the rein down, and she's slapping him and punching him and kicking him. And, oh, it made me feel quite ill, it did. I felt, well, I don't know, I just felt sick. It was horrible. I mean, it's just a terrible thing to do to another mammal. I mean, we're all on this planet together, all of us. We're all mammals. I mean, how can anybody treat an animal like that? And I couldn't help myself. I thought to myself, oh, I thought, Dostoevsky. I just couldn't help myself. It was just like that. It just went, oh, Dostoevsky. I thought, you know what that reminds you of, Gert? Don't I thought to myself, what is it? What does it remind you of? It reminds me of Dostoevsky, it does, with that Razalnikov or whatever. That one in Crime and Punishment. He wrote it in Crime and Punishment as a metaphor, because there was this guy who's a bad guy, his name's Razalnikov or something. It sounds like rascal in English, so we'll just say rascal. And he was planning to kill somebody. And then when he went to sleep, he had a nightmare about seeing this horse being beaten to death by these drunken peasants, these low-life scumbags that just beat this horse until it died. And apparently it really did happen to him, because apparently when he was a kid, him and his dad were going somewhere, I don't know where they were going to see the Gran or something, I don't know, going to the graveyard, I think, yeah, that's what they were doing. Going to the graveyard, and on the way to the graveyard, him and his dad actually did see that happen. They actually see some people beating a horse to death until it was dead on the floor. Yes, they did. And it must have had a massive impression, because he actually did write about it in your Crime and Punishment, and I think he wrote about it in your brothers Karasimov or whatever their names were, something like that. And then that Friedrich Nietzsche, he saw a horse as well. Well, they say he saw a horse being beaten to death. And you know what happened to him when he saw that horse being beaten and it had all blood coming out of its eyes and everything? It gave him a bloody nervous breakdown. That's what happened. I mean, how the whole country didn't have a nervous breakdown when we see that woman beating that poor beast the way she did. It's a terrible indictment on our society, an absolutely terrible indictment on our society, and I can't believe it's allowed to happen. And yes, she's got the sack. She should be in bloody prison. That's where she should be, going around the place beating things. I mean, that creature's a mammal. I mean, he's a mammal just like we are. I mean, it is a metaphor on our society. I mean, who does she think she is, not being funny? A couple of 100 years ago, you had your Mary Wollstonecraft, didn't you? Then you had your Caroline Norton, didn't you, or whatever her name is, Criminal Conversations and all that, and all the women's lib. And now what have you got? A school teacher beating a bloody horse to death.